Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Broyans Farm. Today is Sunday. I'm not actually doing much at all, but I came down here to pick some broccoli for a family member. They want a half bushel, I think, to freeze. And so that's what I'm gonna work on right now. Dad, if you can see him, is up there in the Brussels sprouts getting probably 10 or 15 for Scranton Market tomorrow. We only have 2 days left, which is Monday and Wednesday of this week. Then it's Thanksgiving and there's no more market after that. And so kind of exciting, kind of sad, obviously. You know, our customers are a little bit disappointed because they like getting all of their fresh fruits and veggies, but we don't have them, so we can't sell them. And for those of you who live around here, you might have known that we didn't go to Scranton Market on Friday because of the weather being so bad. I was hunting, so I wasn't even here to load truck, and I want to see if Dad even loaded truck at all. He did. So now this is ready to go for tomorrow on Monday already, which is nice. Good assortment of everything, just not a huge variety. We've got potatoes, red and white. We've got orange and blue Hubbard, which is back there. We've got spaghetti squash, sugar pumpkins, onions, cabbage, and I think a little bit of cauliflower, and that's about it. Oh, and dill, which I cannot believe the dill is still hanging on through these frosts. And if you guys have really been following along since the beginning, I think last year, I don't remember what time frame it was, but we were putting in a walk-in freezer at our farm market. And it was a used one, but it was like new. Well, just like everything else, we had a little bit of complications, and that held us back from actually even being able to use it. And so what we're trying to work on now, which is gonna be tomorrow, is getting that freezer up and running because we really need it for all of our pies, especially with all of the holiday seasons coming up. And so I'm gonna be working on that tomorrow, and Dad is gonna be going to market. So definitely stay tuned for the entire video to see how that goes. I don't know if we'll exactly get it up and running, but we should get it a lot closer than what it is right now. And if you've seen my last video, you'll know that I was washing these washers out. Kind of funny, washing the washer, but that's what we do to clean up for the winter. This is our dirty washer, what we call, because we put our red beets, our potatoes, our onions through it that have a lot of mud caked on. That mud then falls down through into this tray, and then the water will go down the drain. And so for like 2 hours, I worked on washing this off, washing the rollers, cleaning that tray out underneath, and it turned out really well. I think it's completely done. The only thing I did not do was the cleaner washer, which is like for our peppers and eggplant. But I think from what I'm seeing, my mom might have done that while I was out hunting because it looks pretty darn clean, like extremely clean actually. And so that's good. That's just another piece of the puzzle done to the whole wintering process because it takes a lot. You know, all the sprayers have to be winterized, washers, the cooler, tractors, you know, all that kind of stuff. Everything needs a little bit of maintenance. That way we don't have any problems in the following spring. As far as the cooler goes, there's basically nothing in here now besides a couple of potatoes and onions. We like to bring all of our extra baskets, crates that's clean in here. That way it's not out getting dusty in the shed, everything like that. Literally 1 crate of red potatoes, which I know it's hard to see in here. 1 crate of casperitas, and 1 crate of spaghetti squash, which isn't even full. Besides that, we have literally sold everything that we have picked. Obviously, there's always some loss in our fields, but we can't really help that. We pick as much as we can, and we sell as much as we can the entire season. I mean, if you've been following along, you'll know how hard we go all year. And so the only thing left here in the shed is a couple spaghetti, which we're probably gonna wash, or if we don't wash, we'll still at least sell them dirty, and some sugar pumpkins, which these might just go to our one worker who has pigs because they're just, you know, not really as wanted this time of the year. But they are beautiful. They even have green stems, which is crazy. The guys are sadly done now for the season. I'm pretty sure we thought we might have them back one more time to help put straw on our garlic field, but we're just not quite ready for that at the moment. And so we're hoping they're gonna be back again the following spring into summer, but we'll see what happens. They were a huge help this year. We literally could not have done it without them. So this is the cole crop field, which we've been picking very hard. There's actually not much left now, which is good because market's about over. But these 3 rows there are broccoli. And so I know I've explained this many times on the channel, but I always like to keep explaining for the new viewers. But when we cut broccoli in the beginning, there's what's called the main head, and that was what was right there, and that will be on every single plant. And then after that main head, if you take care of the plant, water it, you're gonna get shoots, which this is what you call a shoot right here. That's your main head. Here's a shoot, right there's another little shoot starting. This one right here, main plant, there's a shoot. Some shoots get a lot bigger and more beautiful than others. For some reason, we didn't pick this head. Obviously, you can see how bad it is, but it still put out a beautiful shoot, which I'm gonna pick now. And that's how it goes the whole way through. And so that helps us to keep bringing broccoli then throughout the entire season. Now, it's not gonna go from early spring into fall, but that's why we have 3 different plantings. So we'll cut the main head off, then cut the shoots. As we're picking those shoots, then the next patch comes on, we pick those main heads off, and it just keeps going throughout our 3 patches that we grow. And so I'm gonna pick this now, which is all I'm gonna pick. I think cauliflower is completely done, which you've probably seen that in my last video, but we are still picking cabbage. You can see here that we have cleaned this section all the way through. There's probably just a couple missed heads, or not really missed, but we let go here and there, out this way a little bit. But then on this side, there's quite a bit yet. I would say we probably have 3, maybe 4 bins if we're lucky yet in this entire stretch right here. And what's here is nice because we always go through, pick the bigger heads, leave the smaller, that way they can keep growing. And we grow 3 different varieties. We grow the purple, we have the flat, which is also known as the Gunma, and then we have the regular here and all here. Obviously, as you can see, regular is the biggest seller. We almost never pick in bags like this, but because it's going to a family member and we want our basket, we're just gonna pick it and then take the bag right out of the basket. I'm also not gonna cut the stem real long. That's even a little bit long. That's probably good. That's a really nice one. I'm probably not gonna find that many more like that. I'm gonna look around here and see what I can find. Like this, that's just way too small. It might still grow yet, but in here, this one's not too bad. Shoots are nice and they taste just as good. Sometimes I think they're a little more tender, but they take longer to pick, which is not good when you're going for efficiency. Oh, and if you guys are interested, we have t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and sweatshirts on our website, bryansfarm.com. Little logo on the front, big logo in the back with the tractor. All sorts of different colors and sizes. White, blue, green, red, gray. You name it, we probably got it. So go check it out. I'm actually finding a decent amount. So I'm not gonna lie, that was actually kind of a struggle to get that basket. I started at the Kubota and went all the way to the end to get, well, I'll show you here in a second. So that means there's only from the Kubota now down to the end, which isn't even as big to pick yet, and I don't think there's gonna be as much there, or at least it doesn't look like it anyway. And so this is the basket right here. Most of them are pretty small. I did get one big one, which is borderline, I think, overgrown, but they just can't be choosy this time of year. Something like that was beautiful, but this is probably average right here throughout the entire basket. So it's the next day. I'm just getting out here now to the farm market where we have that walk-in freezer right here, which it's kind of hard to see. It looks like a big blob, but this is our cooler, and then this is the freezer right here. And so we have our work cut out for us because the door isn't quite operating perfectly, and I'm not going to open it up because it's got like that soft closing locking latch on there, but we need to get it so that this thing works perfectly, because if you have any kind of open, you know, seams or nothing isn't latched right, or something isn't latched right, I guess I should say, what's going to happen is you're going to have obviously air leakage, and then it's going to frost up in there, and it's going to just cause a lot of problems. Or at least that's what the guy who specializes in this stuff tells us. So we want to get everything taken care of, and that guy is actually coming today. So I might not get to video as much as I would like to, because I'm going to be working with him and doing whatever he tells me to do, because I don't really know that much myself. But hopefully it all goes smoothly and I'll video what I can. So I just got back from the farm market working on the cooler. It actually went like pretty well. I wouldn't say it went great because, well, let me just start by saying I never like buying used equipment. And the reason I don't is because it always comes back to bite me. It's not really me who bought it, it was my parents. But I'm gonna say me for this instance. And the reason why is because there's always something wrong. There's always something hidden that you don't know about. And so a long time ago when we bought this, it seemed to be almost brand new, barely used. But we got it here to our farm market, put it together, and immediately we started noticing problems. Apparently there is a, basically you could say, heat strip that goes around the door. And that heat strip keeps it from frosting up. That way it doesn't expand, and then you can't get your door opened and closed. So that threshold there where the heat tape goes under, was the wire was cut, busted, whatever you want to say, and now we have to fix that. And so besides that, there was the latch on the door that wasn't working quite properly, which all this stuff's kind of minor, but it's stuff that's got to be fixed. Inside, to lock all of the panels together, there's little like locks. You put a Allen wrench in and you turn it, and when you turn it, it flips this latch, locking one piece to the next piece. Well, we had some trouble with that. So just minor problems here and there that maybe we would have had if we bought new, but I would like to think we wouldn't have. But what you also got to figure is that it would have cost us at least double, if not close to triple, what we paid for this freezer if we would have bought new. And then we would have still had to probably pay to get it put together. So, you know, there's good and bad to everything. And hopefully, as long as we don't encounter any more problems, we should have the cooler up in around, or not up, but up and running in like hopefully 2 to 3 days of actually working on it. I don't know if you can see that, but Amazon is going past my grandma and pap's house, down over the hill to no man's land into a field. They have no clue where they're going. And believe it or not, that happens way more than what you would think. But anyway, back to my story. And so it's just hard because me nor my dad really know that much about this kind of stuff. You know, we know kind of the basics of it, but we have a guy whose name is Frank. I don't even know his last name, but he specializes in all this kind of stuff, and he does an awesome job. I worked with him all day today, and you know, we got along great and we got a lot done. But he can only come, he has another job, he can only come certain days, and he can come tomorrow for half a day, and then he won't come back for a week. So I'm saying hopefully 2 to 3 days, full days, and that hopefully we'll be ready to go. Unfortunately, I didn't get to show you anything that was going on just because it was my first time meeting Frank. You know, I wanted to get a lot done. I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable in front of the camera. So I just threw that idea right out the window. But I will show you tomorrow, before he shows back up again, the progress that we have made, which doesn't honestly look like a lot, but it was a lot. And I also should have, but didn't really have time, to show you the baking process of Jill and Josh, and I think my mom was helping out a little bit, in the store, in the kitchen. We weren't actually open today, but we have a ton of pie orders and just baked good orders in general that they're fulfilling, not only just for the orders, but to sell right across the table, because now is obviously the time of year when everybody's coming in. They want pies, they want cookies, they want cupcakes, they want all that kind of stuff, and we're trying to get a huge variety so that nobody leaves without getting what they wanted, hopefully. I'm actually eating right now a cookie that Jill thinks she overbaked, and to me, I think it's perfect. So now we're gonna sell this cookie, or this batch of cookies, or this couple of cookies, for a discounted price, and they're already not very expensive at all. just so that, you know, we get some money out of it instead of not getting anything. But I'm telling you right now, it's a little bit crunchy, but that's the way I love a cookie, especially if you're gonna dunk it in like coffee or something. I know I'm talking a lot, but that's for two reasons. One, I'm trying to get you guys to understand exactly what's going on here right now. Like, we're always doing something. Dad's actually in Scranton right now for the second to last day of that market. My mom was doing orders. We're actually now in the process of, not really but my mom is in the process of ordering and getting around the plants, seeds, not really seeds, but more the plants like plugs that we're gonna be buying for the upcoming greenhouse season for like hanging baskets, pots, stuff like that. And then it'll be probably a month or so until we all sit down and then start ordering seeds again for the greenhouse season as well, that I'll seed and will grow, you know, from little to big.